Hi, welcome back to the Django series. In the previous video, we have seen how to use the filter and exclude functions, and using that, we have filtered our data from the models and we have displayed it in our front end. So, those are the things we'll use for filters. So, now in this video, we will see how to use the authentication. So, in previously, we have already discussed about it, like while installing the Django, Django provides number of default features, so authentication is one of them. So it also has right from login it will have up to the permissions, groups and everything. So now today, from that authentication features, we will see the login, logout and registering, which means like sign up. Okay, these three things we will use all the default forms, default models, whatever available. Those things we will use, and we will do little customized, and we will just do it. Nothing customized, we'll just use those forms and those fields, and we will just save our user information, and we will provide login and logout functions in our site. Okay, so when I say the default features, for example, if you want to create a user, you need to create a table, user table, taking like a username, password, first name or last name, like those things. You need to create the model, but Django has already created it, a model called user. And after that, if you want to create the forms, I mean, if you want to take the user input, you will manually create the user form. We have seen in the previous thing, if you want to create a student table, we have created the student table and we have defined the form. So but it has already been defined using some user creation forms, authentication forms. We can use those default forms which are already provided in Django. So for example, in a form, there will be a number of validation should be there, suggestion should be there. So those things and all, we need not to worry about those things. All those completed set it is providing. Django will provide through those forms and all. So we just need to import those things, and we just need to in a correct way we need to implement them. That's all. Our authentication will be fixed and it will be completed. So let us start doing it. Okay, so let us see our previous output now. So we have this one right before, home, about, student, here, these things. So to create, start doing it, first we need to, let us discuss what we want to display. So here we want to display, we are going to display three more links: login, logout and register links. So these three links we need to display in our base nav bar. So if we try to display those things, let us do that. I'm going to the base and I'll start defining the same URL, right? Three URLs. Defaultly we will keep this one as hash, because empty we are keeping it, because if without having the URLs, if you try to keep the names or if you try to access these things, it may show the error. So I'm just keeping these three things as star. And now the first one is login, logout and register. So which is also can be treated as sign in, sign out and sign up. Okay, so we have created the links. We can see we will get our links back, but assume now we have not yet logged in. Correct, we are not yet logged in, and so we don't have anything like difference between login and logout. Here we are displaying all the links on even login, even if I am not logged in also. So now what we need to do is, let us say if I am logging in, only then I will show home. Is always I will show the first page. I want to show the home page defaultly, always. But about and student page, we can see this about and student page, we should not show these links if I am not login. And also I should not show the logout and register things. We should not show if I am not uh, login. Okay, so and the logout we should show only if I am login. Okay, so there are some differentiations whatever we need to do in that links. We will just do that. Okay, assume we are in the home page. Okay, so now I'm in the base thing, I will try to do something like we have a default tag here. So in that we will just say if user dot is authenticated. Okay, so if these are the default tags provided, if condition we know already. So this is the default user is authenticated. So if we are not logged in, defaultly there will be an anonymous user, which is what using there we. So we can say it is, and if now you can see it will be displayed everything there. Okay, but here I think I have used it login before, so I may be showing the logged in itself. I'll just take another incognito window, so there we can find the difference. You can see the login there because here I already implemented that login function, and I have login with my admin, right? And I came directly with that view site. So as I was already logged in there, so it was showing that. So now this, assume this is the window. So here we not done any login function. Okay, so we can see as I'm closing this window there. Okay, fine. So we have this view. So you can see, as I mentioned, if user is authenticated, this all the links were hidden. But we, if not authenticated, else will have an else condition here. Okay, else. So if user is not logged in, what we need to show is we need to show the home page. Fine. And home page we will keep it in outside because appear either logged in or not logged in, also it will appear. But about, only about and student we are hiding, and logout also we are hiding, because if it is logged in only we can make him log out, right? So register we are showing because let us assume we will not show the register also if it is logged in. Okay, so else only we will show login, and defaultly this will be appearing home and login. Okay, at we will show the register, right? Yeah. If it is not, we can see the screens now. So now the links are meaningful, like home, it is default, login and register. Okay, and also in our thing, like in our home.html, so we can say this welcome to the channel, something was there. Here also we can differentiate between logged in and logged out. Okay, here some for example, I'll use the same condition whatever I used here before. If user dot is authenticated, I will show a heading, you are logged in now. So it's like you are logged in. Else I will show some other saying that not anything. Here I'll just close this if using and if, and I'll just say you are logged out, because we are displaying, we are making back to home page, right? So we can differentiate like this, you are logged out, because defaultly the user will be anonymous user. Okay, so we'll not get that user. Fine, are you getting my point? So here we can say logged in and logged out. So basic differentiation we have seen, we have shown in the URLs as well as in the information displayed also. Now let us start implementing our functions. I'm going to the views. I'll quickly create three functions. One is login view request, and it just returns a template, and here we need to create the login template also, which will be in, I'll just want to create separately in separate folder. Till now we are using the folder called student. From now I thought of using another folder, say it is an authentication. Okay, so authentication, inside that login.html So the same way I will create the three more views. So the other one says logout view. Okay, here we will not render any template for logout view. Here we will just redirect to login page. Okay, because when we log out we will just go back to login page. So register we will have the template. Okay, um, for register we can have the template here, same register dot template. Fine, this is okay. And now we will start creating that. Actually we don't have this htmls, we'll just define those htmls here. So inside the templates I want to create one more folder. Say it is authentication. Okay, authentication is a folder. Inside that I want to create login.html, one more register.html. Okay, so these are two things we have created, and as usual we will just import the base tags. Okay, register and as well as in the login template. Last one is the end if. Okay, and block, and in login also we will have the end block. So defaultly we will have one h1 tag, so that saying you are in or we can say please login. Okay, these things we are saying. Register also we will just say register now, register the new user. Okay, fine. These things we are just having this two things, please login and log out. And we, the last thing is we don't have any urls for this. We'll just go to our urls. Okay, here let us start displaying the urls. Okay, here first one is login and views dot login comma name. And so we don't have the login, actually it is login view, and name comes as login. So the same way we need to create for two things, three more urls. One logout, and this is register. So the same logout we will say this, and this also logout, and this is register. These are all the same things whatever we create. So register, so let us say this is also as register view. We will go and change this view as register view, so it will be in a pattern: login view, logout view, and register view. Okay, so we have three views and we have three urls. Now we can check this urls here. Okay, so defaultly when I go to login page, because we are not giving any urls in the base, we just do that. So the same, I'm copying the format of url. So this will be logout, and here also it will be login, and the last one it is register. So we have urls here, we can see the now login, please login, register, please register. So once if we login and if we we will get the login urls also. Okay, so now we have defined all these things. Now the things pending are the forms and saving the forms. Only those functions are pending. We'll just implement it. So before implementing we just need to import some things called, let us say first we want the user creation form. To create the user we need a form, right? So from django.contrib dot auth, we will have all the default things here. Dot forms import user creation form, and also for login we want authentication form. Okay, so these two are the forms we are defaultly using. And one more other one is from Django.contrib auth, we need to import the login function from the auth. So okay, so this login function, if you pass some two arguments, it will just log in the user. And also we want logout. So this logout is used for just logging out the user. So these things we are going to use in our authentication features. Okay, we will just implement them now. Okay, so in my first I'm going to the register. First, to create the login, I mean to log in, we need a user, right? So I'm going with form equal to, I have the user creation form I have. So this form I'll just display in the front end. I have to pass this in the context so that I can send it to the HTML page. So I'll just say it as same form, or we can say it as create form. Let us say this as user create form. Okay, so I'm appending that with form. So we can use this key in our front end to access this user create form. So I'm passing this context in my HTML. Sorry. So this context, when we pass, we can access this user create form in our front end. I'm going to register.html and I will just render this form. So for that I am having form tag. We don't want the action here. We just need method post, and inside that form we just need, as we are rendering that as user create form, right? We are just having that key for our dictionary. So whatever the keys we define here, that we will use in our front end. So I have just given user create form dot as p. Okay, and now we need a button. Fine. So the button will be type submit, and we'll just say it as it is register. Okay, fine. We have the register button and we have the form here. So let us see how does it displays. And the one more thing we missed here, we should not forget about CSRF token. Fine, CSRF token. Okay, so now we will have our form. You can see the register form. This is the default register form. This is the label model we have, and these are the help text. And if you do some error, the errors also will come upon the label. Above the input field, you will get the errors. But for example, now if you don't want like all these things to be displayed defaultly, if you want to, and also if you want to design those error help text is and all, you can actually do something like this. Instead of directly giving it as form, we can do using for loop. You can iterate the fields for uh, field. I'm just iterating the variable as field in user create form. Okay, you just end the for loop, and for okay, here inside we can just have whatever we want. Like for example, I'll just say it is field. When I just say it is field, you can see here you will get only the fields down. So actually I'm removing this one. You can just compare only the fields we will get here. So I'm just removing the top one. So now you can see, so we will just only the input fields. If you just give data and all, it will just create the data, and if any errors, it will just come down. The errors and all will come down. But if you want to organize, like if you want now, what you want, the field names, we are just getting the fields, but now we want field names also. So those things we will say it as field dot label. Okay, so if you just want to decorate the label, you just keep this in a div tag and apply the styles whatever you want. That it is up to you. So I'll just get the label. So now we lost that help suggestions, everything we just lost if you are irritating with that. So but still now for example, I want in a break tag. So I'll just say it as a br tag. So I'll get down these things. Fine, but we are getting these things after the label. We are just given after the label, we have given the break tag, but not after the field. Let us say we'll give the break tag after the field also. now it is fine. Okay, so these are after that we got, and before this also I'll just give a break tag. So I'm giving that to just for appearance. Okay, password confirmation, these things we have. Now assume you want the suggestions also, organizedly you want the suggestions. Let us say here we will just say it as field dot help text. Whatever default text will be there, that will be displayed. You can see those text here. They got, so this way you can decorate those things. Okay, so in this one you are having register and help text, and now you are control of those features. When you use directly the user create form without the for loop, you don't have the control like where that should be displayed and how that particular help text I should design, or how that label can be designed separately, how the field can be formatted. You may not having the control on those things, but now you will be having the control on those separate fields. Hope you have got this. And the errors, we will get the errors also here. You can say those errors here on top of each label. I am keeping the errors. So those errors also something you can do as, you can number of errors will be coming there, so you can iterate those errors and display. I hope you are getting my thing. So I'm just keeping something like for field dot errors. Okay, so for example, for error I'm taking the iterated variable as error in field dot errors. Okay, now I'll just end the for loop, and here we can say we can just display the error, and after that each error you can also say the break tag, or if you're not using also it's fine. So the errors will be iterated on top of the each field. Okay, hope you are getting my point. So this is the way you can have the control of each attribute showing there. So separately you can design those things and get the required things. Okay, so for example, if you don't want to show this help text, you just remove and this, so you will not get those things. Only the errors will be displayed, if any errors. Okay, so this is the way you can iterate these things. Okay, so I'm just keeping the break here. So assume we don't want the help text, we just want only the show errors, if any errors there. So let us say like this, and now this will be, this and for is different. Okay, and these are the fields, and we have separately the errors there. We have shown the label, and after the errors we'll just give one more break for each after the complete errors. So we will get it separately. Hope you have understood this. So this way we can customize, you can customize that attributes, like you can have the control of attributes, you can have the designs for each and everything separately. So this is the way we can use the form. If you don't want anything, I don't care about the help text or suggestions, however the errors comes, I just want the fields and submit the form, you just directly use the default form directly. Okay, so this is the way I just want to show. So we have the forms here, you can see login and register form, we have this here. So now the same, we need to handle that form. So we are just having that form, but we are not creating anything because we are not handling the form here. So let us do that. If request dot method equal to post as usual. So if it is post, we need to create that, we need to send that request dot post here. So we will just need to send request dot post, and if form dot is valid, we'll just take that. If it is valid, form dot save. That's all. So here one thing, yes, fine. This is all. This is all. Just we need to do user request dot post. We are just sending request dot post. So it just saves the user. And if it saves the user, we are returning back to the login page. As here as registered, we can log in now. So login page. That's all. So we have completed our user creation function. Now we can just revalidate whatever we have given, and we can just go for creating the user. If it is successfully logged in, it will just go to the login page. Now I'm just creating one. I may be having other logins also. I'll just say it as user1 for to be default. Okay, user1, and password I'm giving as hello at 123. Hello at 123. I have given the password. I'm just registering. So you can see the errors now. So we are displaying it on top of our things. If you want to make it bright, you can go to anytime you can go to register.html, and you can just keep it in tags. Like I want b tag. So if I just say b, it will be in b tag. If you want to highlight this error to show difference, you can always see this, like register. If I'm giving user1 and password, and if any errors, it comes on top of each field. So you can see a username which already exists, so I just gave it as user2, and password same. So 123. So I just gave the password like this. So when I'm registering, so it just redirected me to the login view. Okay, so our user creation is success. Now we'll just move on to the login. So the same way, however, we have used the user creation form, here also we can have the authentication form. I'll just use as authentication form. Okay, now the same way I need to pass the context also. I'll just the context here, and user, I'll say this as user login form. Okay, and the same context I'll pass to the HTML. So however, we have customized the register.html. So the same way I will use the same form in my login view also. So you can see, so the same customization applies for this also. Okay, help text, here the help text is not there. We'll add the help text, because if you are submitting without the fields and all, it will just say the field is required. Okay, help us nothing. I think in the username it will just ask username, password, nothing required. If it is any error, it just says the field is required. Okay, or invalid credentials or anything. So the same thing I'm going to use, but just we need to change the variable. It is user login form now, and the button is here login. That's all. So login view, you can see the now fields username and password. So now if you give something also, it will not take, because so for example, because it will, we are not handling that in the views. Let us handle that. So here a bit difference is, we need to have this if request dot method equal to post, and here we need to handle that with, we need to pass this information, right? Form equal to authentication form, and here what the thing is, we also need to send the request here, request slash comma request dot post. We'll just send these two things here. It takes the two arguments. We'll just send these two, and here we'll just say it as if form dot is valid. Okay, if form dot is valid, we will call one another method called form dot get user. So it just authenticate, it will find, it will do itself like fetching the database and finding the correct email and password validation. It will, everything it does, and it will just send us the user. Okay, so this way it just get that user, and it also completes the user validation here using the get user function. Okay, so only thing we need to do is, we have already imported the login from the contrib, so we'll just say it as login. If you not imported first, you can please do that import. I'm just imported here. So the same way you need to import login. We need to pass two things here. One is the request, and the other one is the other one you need to pass is also you need to pass the user object. So from the get user, if it is validated, I mean if it is a correct user, you will get the user back, this object you will get. So the object, same thing, we will pass to the login function. It just logins you. So then if it is logged in, you can redirect to the home page. So I'll just explain these lines. We are just taking the authentication form. In this case, we are also taking the request to the form, and also we are just validating as usual, is form valid. And here the new function is get user, form dot get user. So it itself will get the it will validate whether that user is there, everything it does that, and we will get the user back. And the whatever the user back we have got, the user object, we will send it in login function. Login function defaultly take the request argument. Along with that, it also takes the user object. Okay, like we have the function here, login view request, it takes. So the same way this login function also will take. So but this login function we are not defining, it is the default from the Django. So this way we can just log in the user. So now we can see we have handled the login view also. You can just see I'm just giving user2, and for example if I give a wrong password, something else I have given, you can see nothing. Now we are not handling if the user is not correct. Okay, so here now I am giving hello. I'll just refresh this page. I'll come to this login page again, user2 and hello at 123. So I just hit login. So now you are logged in. You can see as we are logged in, we can see the home page, about page, student and logout. But logout, it just sends you home page, but it is not actually, I mean logout just send you the to login page itself, but it has not actually logged out the user, because you can see user is still authenticated, because about student you can see that. Just we need to handle with something. We have the logout view, right? So to the logout we just need to pass this request, that's all. It just really it does now the real logout. So the logout function also we imported from the contrib. Okay, so I'm just hitting refreshing and just hit the logout. Now you can see it now actually has logged out the user. So home, login, register, we'll do that again now. So Dinesh something user3 and password same I have given. And if I password not matches, you can see there it just shows the two password fields does not match. So likewise you will get the errors. Hello at 123 I have given, so user 3, I'm registering, so it has redirected me to the login page, user 3. Okay, so now you can password hello at 123, I just log in. Now you can see you are logged in. So this way you can log in, you can use the login, logout and the register functions. So this is how we can use the authentication and the custom forms we can use, and we can also customize that attributes. We can have the control of errors and suggestions that we can if you don't want that, just we can say as form.asp or form.as table, like that. But if you want to decorate those things and all separately, you can do something like what we have done, like use iterating in the for loop and displaying whatever only required. Okay, and the last thing we have forgot is for example now you have logged out, but I know this is the student page, so I can directly go something like this, but we are able to see that even though I am not logged in. Can you understand? So even I just not even logged in, but I know this path. If somebody knows this path without login also, they can go, right? So for that, the last thing what we will do is we will go to our views and we will just say we will import one decorator from Django.contrib. So Django.contrib we can say it has something like auth decorators from decorators, we will just import a decorator called login required. So login required. So this one, it will it will, sorry, it will stop you if somebody logins without any, if somebody accesses this function, it will stop that user from accessing it, and it will redirect to the login page. Like this, we need to replace the at using the at symbol. We just need to say, sorry, at and login required, that decorator will just display. We also want it for about page, the same thing. And we don't want it for logout. They'll not call logout if they are not logged in. We can even say the logout thing also, because if they are not logged in, why they want to call the logout view? No, right? And register view doesn't required, and login view doesn't require the login. And delete student, we can secure all the functions without logging in. They cannot do all these things. Update also, even they can give update, and they can pass the parameters directly in the path so that it will update. It should not do that, right? So we have secured all the things. Now if we go and I'm refreshing, and if I go to the student page without logging in, now it has stopped you going to that student page, but as it founds in the default accounts.login page, but it doesn't found it, because we have our custom login URL, right? We have our login URL something like this, login. So for that, we just need to go to settings.py, and here we will just say it as login URL. We will say which URL it need to go if it is redirecting defaultly. We'll send it to login page. We have our URLs, right? Login. So this way you can set the login URL. Now I'll go back and I'll refresh. So now you can see if it is accessing, it just sends you back to the login page. So this is the way you can secure your paths also. Even though he comes from the path, he cannot access that function until unless the user is logged in. So this is the way you can use the login and logout and register functions, and also you can customize the field attributes separately however you want. Hope it is clear and you are able to understand these things. In the coming videos we will come with different features, and we'll also see many other things whichever provided from the Django. Okay, so hope this is clear. Thank you.